Hello everyone. So in today's lecture I'll talk about integer programming problem. So integer programming problem is a special case of linear programming problem. Okay. So since it is a special case of linear programming problem, so that's why it would be having constraints which is going to be a linear and a certain number of constraints. Okay. And these constraints will also be a linear function of decision variable. In this lecture, I'll talk about the different types of integer programming problems and a method to solve integer programming problem with the help of one example. So first of all, let us understand what is integer programming problem and what is its general form. Okay. So as I told you that this is a special case of linear programming problem. So here you can see okay. So this is the general form, and as I told you that it is a linear programming problem. So here you can see its uh, objective. Objective could be a maximize or minimize, and subject to the constraints. So constraint could be a less than equality constraint, or greater than equality constraints. Okay, so till now it looks like the linear programming problem, but here is the difference. Okay, so we are adding some additional constraints on the decision variables here. Okay, so here xi greater than equals to 0 and integers. So some of the decision variables are integers, and these decision variables are 1 to p, and we are not putting this integrity condition on some of the decision variables. Okay, and the index of those decision variables start from p plus 1 to n. There are three types of linear programming problem. The first one is the pure, okay, pure integer programming problem. So when we put the integrity constraint on each and every decision variables of a given linear programming problem, then it becomes the pure integer programming problem. Okay, so in this case all the decision variables should be integers. Next one is mixed integer programming problem. So the example of mixed integer programming problem already you have seen. Okay, some of the decision variables are integers, and on remaining decision variables we do not put any condition of the integrity. Next one is the 0 1 integer programming problem. So here the decision variables either can take value 0 or 1, okay, nothing else. So if you put a constraint like this on the decision variables that they can take either value 1 or 0, then this kind of integer programming problem is called 0 1 integer programming problem. Okay, and the example is traveling salesman problem, okay, assignment problems. So these are the special case of integer programming problem. Okay. So this is the classification of integer linear programming problem. It could be classified into two categories. First one, the linear programming problem, and the second one is non-linear programming problem. And for linear programming problem, there are three different types: pure, mixed, and 0 1 problem. Okay. So non-linear programming problem is not included in your syllabus. That's why we are not going to discuss about this section. Okay. So this is not in your syllabus. Okay. So for solving pure and mixed integer programming, there are different methods. So the first method is cutting plane method, and the second one is branch and bound method. Okay, and for solving 0 1, again there are three different methods: cutting plane, enumerated method, or branch and bound method, and the third one is the BLAS adaptive methods. Okay, So since this branch and bound method already, the branch and bound method already been discussed in the design and analysis of the algorithm, where you have solved the 0-1 knapsack problem by using branch and bound. Okay, so 0-1 knapsack problem is a special case. Again, it's a special case of integer programming problem, and where the branch and bound has been used to solve it. Okay, so in this lecture I'll discuss about this cutting plane method. Okay, so with the help of this plane method, how can we solve the integer programming problem? Okay, so the method name is cutting plane algorithm method, or it is widely known as the Gomori cut. Okay, and its name based on the inventor of this algorithm, Gomori cut. Okay, so let us discuss about this algorithm. What do we do in this algorithm, and how can we find out the integer solutions for a given linear programming problem. Okay, so the first step in the Gomori cut plane is to formulate it as the linear programming problem. Okay, so whenever one integer programming problem is given to us, so first of all we have to consider it as the linear programming problem and solve it by using simplex method. Okay, so forget about the integrity constraint in the step number 1, consider it as the linear programming problem, and the method to solve the linear programming problem, which is the simplex method. So apply simplex method and find out its solution. Okay, in step number 2, you need to check whether your solution is optimal or not. If you get the optimal solution, optimal and feasible solution, optimality condition, as you know, the Cj minus Zj should be less than equals to 0 for maximization case. Okay, or less than or greater than equals to 0 for minimization. So by using this condition, you need to check whether your solution is optimal or not. If it is optimal and all the decision variables in which the integrity constraint has been put are taking the integer value in the final table, that means our problem has been solved by using simplex method. Okay, so let me put it once again. If your solution is optimal and the decision variables on which we have the integrity condition, if they are getting the integer solution in the final table, then we are done. We have found the optimal solution. Okay, if not, okay, if there are some of the decision variables, those are not getting the integer value, then we have to go to the step number 3. And what is step number 3? In step number 3, we are going to generate a cutting plane. Okay, and how are we going to generate this cutting plane? We have to pick a row, okay, correspond to a variable which is not satisfying the integer condition. Okay, or let us say if you have more than one variables, those are not satisfying the integrity condition, those are having the fractional value. In that case, you have to pick a variable whose fractional value is maximum. Okay, and correspond to that, you have to define a cutting plane. Okay, I'll tell you how to define it. Okay, so this is the equation of the cutting plane. So after generating this cutting plane correspond to a variable whose fractional value is maximum, okay, then you have to add this cutting plane into the final table of the simplex method. Okay, but let us say if more than one variables with the same are having the same largest fraction. Okay, so if more than one variables are having the same fractional value, in that case you have to pick a variable who has the minimum contribution to the maximization problem and largest contribution in the minimization problem. Okay, so contribution means we need to look into the cost. Okay, so for the maximization case, we have to select a variable whose cost is minimum and for minimization case we have to pick a variable. Okay, in case of tie we have to pick a variable whose cost in the objective function is largest. Okay. So, after generating cutting plane, add it to the optimal simplex table. Okay. And after adding it to the optimal simplex table, then your solution will become the infeasible. Okay. So, whenever you have the infeasible but optimal solution, then you can apply the dual simplex method to convert that into the feasible solution. Okay. So, these are the 4 steps. Okay. So, let us summarize these steps one more time with the help of this flow chart. So, first of all, if an integer programming problem is given to us, we have to ignore all integrity constraint and consider it as a simple linear programming problem. Okay. And if the linear programming problem is given to us, then we have the method simplex, okay, to find the solution of it. Okay. After finding the solution, you need to check whether all the decision variables on which we had integrity condition are actually having the integer value in the final table or not. If these decision variables are having the integer value, then stop here. The current solution is optimal. If not, then select the variable. Okay, those are not fulfilling the integrity condition. You have to select a variable whose fractional value is maximum. Okay, and generate a cutting plane correspond to that. Okay, and after generating cutting plane, add it to the final simplex method, and whenever you add the cutting plane to the final simplex method, your solution in the simplex table will become infeasible. Okay, so to make it feasible, you have to apply dual simplex method. Okay, so apply dual simplex method and solve it, and again check it. If the solution, all the variables values are integer, then stop. If not, then repeat the same procedure a finite number of time. Okay. So, now let us apply this Gomori cut plane algorithm with the help to solve one of the integer programming problem. Okay. So, here maximize z equals to 7 x 1 plus 10 x 2 minus x 1 plus 3 x 2 less than equals to 6, 7 x 1 plus x 2 less than equals to 35, and x 1 x 2 all are greater than equals to 0 and integer. Okay. So, this integrity condition is on both the variables. So, both variables should have the integer value, and remember the contribution of x 1 is less compared to the contribution of x 2. Okay. So, first of all, according to the Gomori cut plane algorithm, first of all we have to convert it into the standard form or consider it as the linear programming problem and then solve it by using simplex method. Okay. So, in the next step we have to remove this these constraints by adding slack variable. Okay. So, now this x 3 is a slack variable, x 4 is a slack variable. So, now you can see the both side the both less than equality has been converted into equality. Okay. So, now this is the standard form, and according to Gomori cut plane, now we have to forget about this integrity constraint. Okay, forget about it. Consider this as a simple linear programming problem. Okay. So, we have removed this constraint. Okay. Now, it's look like a simple linear programming problem and we can solve it by using simplex method. Okay. So, now apply simplex method to find out its solution. And here I have written the final table only because you know how to apply simplex method. Okay. So, from this one, first of all build a table, then try to solve it by using simplex method. Okay. And when you solve it or reach to the final solution, then you will get this optimal table. Okay. Remember, this is the optimal table or final table. Okay. So, the first column in the table is CB, next one is the XB, next one B, first column correspond to the first decision variable x1, second column correspond to the second decision variable, and now the remaining column correspond to the slack variable x3 and x4. Okay. So, this column is correspond to the cost, and this is the this column represent the basic variables. So, basic variables are x2 and x1. Okay. Next, these are the value of x2. x2 value is 3.5. The x1 value is 4.5. Okay. So, in the final table, the both variables are getting the fractional value, but actually they should have the integer value because of the integrity constraints. Okay. So, now that means we are not going to stop here, we have to find out the Komori cut plane. Okay. Then only we can find out the integer solution. And in order to find out the Komori cut plane, first of all you have to find out the Komori cut plane correspond to a variable whose fractional value is maximum. So, look at here the fractional value. So, fractional value of x1 is half, fractional value of x2 is half again, okay, half, both are same. So, if the fractional value of the variables are same, in that case, and since look at here, this is the maximization problem. So, in case of maximization problem, you have to add the Komori cut plane correspond to a variable whose contribution is less into its subjective. Okay. So, contribution means the cost. So, cost of x2 is 10 and the cost of x1 is 7. So, that means a Komori cut plane correspond to x1 should be added here. Okay. And for adding the cut plane, let me tell you the method. So, these rows, those are correspond to x1 and x2 could be written as the equations. Okay. So, these are the coefficients of these variables. So, the first row could be written as 0 x1 plus next one is 1 x2 plus 7 by 22 x3 plus 1 by 22 x4, and this should be equals to the value of x2, and value of x2 is 3.5. Okay. Similarly, the next row can be written as x1 plus 0 x2 plus not plus minus 1 by 22 x3 plus 3 by 22 x4. Okay, and this is equals to 4.5. Okay. So, this equation is written correspond to the first one as I shown you here. Okay. So, 0 x1, so this has been removed, x2 plus 722, 7 divided by 22, x3 plus 1 divided by 22, x4 plus 3.5. Okay. And now, since x2 greater than 0 and integer, okay. So, value of x2 we cannot take beyond 3.5, we have to take it less than 3.5. Okay. And since we are going to consider the value integer, so the value of x2 could be less than or equals to 3. Okay. In the next step, what are we going to do? We are going to separate the the integer and fractional part. Okay. Because look at this equation. So, this equation is x2 plus 7 divided by 22 x3 plus 1 divided by 22 x4, and this can be written as 3 plus half. Okay. So, if you separate the fractional and integer part, so this is the integer one. Okay. So, we can leave it. Okay. So, this equation will become 7 divided by 22 x3 plus 1 upon 22 x4, and since we are removing 3 from here, so this would become greater than 1.5. Okay, so the same equation is written here. Okay, and this equation is known as the Gomori cut plane. Okay, so let us do the same thing for the x1 as well. So the equation correspond to x1 could be written as x1 minus 1 upon 22 x3 plus 3 by 22 x4, and remember these are taken from this table, last one. So x1 minus 1 upon 22 x3 and 3 by 22 x4. Okay, now we have to separate the integer and fractional part. Okay, so we have to apply same method here as we did here. Okay, but please do remember one thing, in the Gomori cut plane all the fractional value should be positive, there should not be any negative value here. Okay, but look at here, if we try to separate, then it could have been it could be written as you know 1 upon minus 1 upon 22 x3 plus 3 by 22 x4 and greater than equals to half. Okay, but in that case this will become the negative value, so we have to make it positive. Okay, and how to make it positive? By using its complement. Okay, so complement of 1 by 22 could be written as 1 minus 21 upon 22. Okay, so instead of 1 by 22, that is the negative value, we have to place 1 minus 21 by 22 in this equation. Okay, so look at here. Okay, and if you solve it, then you will get x1 minus x3 and 21 divided by 22 x3 plus 3 by 22 x4. Now you can see the fractional value has become the positive 4 by 2. Okay, so in the next case, this is the integral part, this is the fractional part, and same thing with this one. So this can be written as 4 plus half. Okay, so we have to remove the integral part and only fractional part will remain here. Okay, and that fractional part will give us this thing. Okay, greater than equals to half. Okay, and remember this is a Gomori cut plane. Okay, so this is the integral part, this is the fractional part, and this is the general form of the Gomori cut. So Gomori cut, in the left hand side and in the right hand side we have to separate the the integral and the fractional part. So this is the integral part, this is the fractional part, this is the integral part, and this is the fractional part. Okay, and once we have separated the integral and the fractional part, then we can derive the Gomori cut equation, and the Gomori cut equation will keep only the fractional part. So f I x I is greater than, and remember, instead of equality now we have to put the greater than equality. So left hand side will be greater than equals to the fractional part of right hand side. Okay, so again the Gomori cut plane. So whenever you get the Gomori cut plane equation, you have to add it to the final simplex table. Okay, and after adding it, after adding this into the fractional table, your solution will become infeasible. Okay, I'll tell you how it will become infeasible. Okay, and once your solution become infeasible, then you can apply dual simplex method to find out its solution. Okay, so let us add the first Gomori cut plane correspond to the first variable x2. Okay, 7 by 22, so this would become x2 plus 7 by 22 x3 plus 1 by 22 x4, this is equals to 3.5. Okay, so our Gomori cut plane will become this one. Okay, greater than equals to this one. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do, we have to add this into the final simplex table, and to add this Gomori cut plane into the final simplex method, you have to convert this greater than it to the equality. Okay. So, first of all you have to multiply this equation by -1 to convert this greater than equality into less than equality. So, this will become minus 7 by 22 x 3 minus 1 upon 22 x 4 less than equals to -1, and then you can take the help of the slack variable to convert this into the equality. Okay. So, same thing I did here. Okay. So, first multiplication, this becomes the negative, and then we have added one additional slack variable x 5. So, this is equals to minus half. Okay. So, now we are going to add this equation into the final simplex table. So, final simplex table, if you look here, this is the final simplex table. So, it contains you know the column till x 4. So, we have to add one extra column here. Okay. And this would be correspond to x 5, and now one additional constraint would be added here. So, we have to add one more extra row here. Okay. Okay. So, now you can see one extra column has been added because there is no contribution of x 5 in the constraint number 1, 2. Okay. So, that is why at the third place the value of 1 would come here. Okay. And this entire equation has been added here. The coefficient of x1 is 0, coefficient of x2 is 0, coefficient of x3 is minus 7 by 22, coefficient of x4 is minus 1 by 22, coefficient of x5 is 1. Okay. And the value is 1.5. Okay. So, x5 1.5, coefficient x1 0, coefficient x2 0, minus 7 by 22, minus 1 by 22, and this one. Okay. So, now you have to apply dual simplex method. In dual simplex method, first of all we have to select the key row. Okay. These are the dual simplex method, and key row will be selected on the basis of most negative value in the basis. So, most negative value, look at here, this one is the minus half. Okay. So, that means this row number 3 will become our key row. Okay. And key column will be decided on the basis of ratio. Okay. So, now the ratio of the key row and the Cj minus Zj will be calculated. So, Cj divided by is the element of key row. Okay. So, for that we will be calculating the ratio here. Okay. So, calculate the ratio. So, for this is the Cj minus Zj divided by this one, and remember this ratio should be calculated correspond to the negative value of Cj minus Zj. So, 63 divided by 22 divided by 7 by 22. So, 22 से cancel हो जाएगा 22, and then this would become 63 divided by 7 and 9. Okay, and this is 31. So, now key column would be selected correspond to the minimum ratio. So, minimum ratio is 9. So, that is why this column, the column correspond to x3 will become the key column. Okay. So, now the procedure will remain the same. This is our key element. So, we have to make the key element equals to 1 and the remaining element of this equals to 0. And in order to make this element equals to 1, we have to divide this entire row by minus 7 by 22. Okay. Or we have to multiply this entire equation by 22 by 7 minus. Okay. So, do this thing. Okay. So, now you can see here the x2 is converted into the integer value. Okay. And your solution z is 62. Okay. But again we have the integrity condition on the x1 as well. So, x1 is not satisfying the integrity condition, hence again we have to apply the same procedure. We have to add the cut number 2, Gomori cut plane. Okay. So now we are going to add the cut correspond to this one. Okay. So equation is going to be x1 0 x2 0 x3 x4 by 7 x5 by minus 7 equals to 4 and 4 by 7. Okay. And since this x5 is the negative one, okay, so we have to make it positive. We have to take the complement of this. So minus 1 by 7 can be written as 1 minus 6 by 7. Okay. So same thing has been done here. Okay. Now we have to separate the integral part and the fractional part. So this become this one. Okay. So this is the integral part. Okay. And this is the fractional part. Okay. So we have to remove this one and this one from here, and this is also, this become the greater than equality. Okay. So our cut is 1 by 7 x4 plus 1 by 7 6 by 7 x5 greater than 4 by 7. Okay. Now we have to add this plane into the previous table. Okay. And in order to add it, add this plane into the previous optimal table, we have to convert this into the equality. Okay. So procedure will remain the same. First of all, multiply this by minus 1. Okay. So this will become less than equal to, and once it becomes the less than equal to, then you can take the help of slack variable to convert it into the equality. So now the slack variable is S6, but if you look at the previous optimal table, it does not contain any x6. So what we have to do, we have to add one additional column here correspond to x6 and one additional row correspond to x6. Okay. So look at the cut. The coefficient of x1 0, coefficient x2 0, coefficient x3 0, coefficient of x4 is minus 1 by 7, x5 minus 6 by 7, and x6 is 1, and its value is 4 by 7. So now you can see it has been added, and now your solution become infeasible because of this negative value. And since the solution is infeasible, we have to apply dual simplex method. And in dual simplex method, first of all we have to select the key row, and key row is selected on the basis of the maximum negative value. Okay. So most negative value is minus 4 by 7. Okay. So this is the key row, and the key column would be selected on the basis of ratio, and ratio will be calculated correspond to negative Cj minus Zj. So this is minus 1 divided by minus 1 by 7, so it would become 7. Now this is minus 9, this is 6 by 7, so it would become 21 by 2. Minimum ratio is 7 and correspond to this, the column number 4. So now this become the key column. This is our key element. So since this is the key element, we'll make it 1 and the remaining element equals to 0. And to make it 1, we have to multiply this entire row by minus 7. Okay. So if you do so, now you can see your x2 is the integer, x1 is integer. Okay. We don't care about this x3 and x4 because these are the slack variable and we don't have the integrity condition on these variables. So it might be possible that in the final table you may have this 1.5 and 4.3, something like that. Okay. But you need to look into the variable on which the integrity condition has been imposed, and those variables are x2 and x1, and now you can see both are having the integer value. Okay. So z equals to 58 and x2 equals to 3, x1 equals to 4. So we'll stop here, and this is the final solution.